just back like we never back like we left something. Like I can't express how much I need to get off my soul how much we can't lose this game Sunday night to Washington. I can't express how bothered I'm going to be. I can't express what I can express is that we back, baby. We back, just like we never left. We got the look at the dapper debonair man over to the side. Look at him, with no, and he got the star on. It's an outfield thing, yeah,
Uh,
but it don't matter.
it
The
don't
star
matter.
means something now, man. Dallas is out here cooking. NFC East is back. We got the
Yes, they
Mets
are.
out
Yes,
here.
they
We got
are.
we
Oh, we
got
got.
we got Alabama not making a playoff, but it's cool. It's basically the Georgia Invitational. Who's going to lose to Georgia twice? We get
It,
that part. We got the Mets cooking. We
huh,
got Dion to
we
we
got
got Dion to a
Deion.
Power Five conference. We got some things to talk about. Quiet Storm, how we feeling,
Yes, we
baby?
do. We feeling really good, really good. Everyone, I hope that you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We haven't talked to you since before Thanksgiving. We hope that you and your families are blessed. We also hope and pray that your holiday season is joyous
Hmm.
and that God blesses you with all the blessings of your heart. And we're
Amen.
going to get
Amen.
into it. We're going to discuss some things because some things need to be
Some
discussed.
things need to be discussed.
When we last left off, we were getting ready to go to the Thanksgiving season. We had a great time in Long Island with Ace and my daughter-in-law Christiana. Shout out to Christiana, and we had a great time. It was family and love. It was great, great. But
Food came
since
out
then,
nice. The sweet potato
yeah,
pies
everything
came
was.
through looking.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we do what we do, baby. We do what we do.
So everything was
But
good.
one
And
thing
then,
we're going to do
hmm
is we're going to discuss some of the foolishness that has happened in sports since then. First off,
oh Lord.
I would like to start with Alabama. Now, we've been spoiled by Alabama over the past 15, 16 years. And I want to throw some
Hold on
things
time.
out there to some fans. Whether you like Alabama or not, whether you don't,
Please,
whether
please
you,
understand the numbers that are coming.
um,
Please understand what's
whether you,
coming.
yeah, because I have to tell you that
You do.
you're
It's
not going
necessary.
to see the level. I mean, unless Georgia becomes the next Bama, you're not going to see this again. But I'm
No.
going to throw some things at you. In
Please listen close.
16 years,
Mm,
well, really 15, 16 years in which Nick Saban has been head coach at Alabama.
right.
Nick Saban has produced 4 Heisman winners.
Oh my gosh. How many?
Mind
Wait,
you,
wait, no, wait, hold on.
Alabama,
How
Alabama,
many did he have? How many did Alabama have before Saban got there?
zero,
Oh, okay. My fault. Never
right?
mind. Please go
So
ahead.
Mark Ingram, Heisman Trophy winner.
Got it
Derrick
done.
Henry, Heisman Trophy winner,
Mm-hmm.
right? Devontae Smith,
Mm-hmm.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Two non-quarterbacks.
And exactly, I was going to get to that. 2 non-quarterbacks,
Mm.
right? And then guess what? Here comes
Let's go ahead and
Bryce
get Bryce
Young,
one. Let's go ahead and get
right?
Bryce one.
So you had 3 non-quarterbacks win the Heisman at Alabama. The Southeastern Conference. Y'all ready for this? 16 years of hate on Alabama, hate on the SEC. Where does that get y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Les Miles won a national championship uh, before Ed Orgeron,
Mm-hmm.
Coach O, down at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Smart has won a national championship.
Shout out to Kirby. Good job.
Auburn even won a national championship. We
Word
haven't
to them.
gotten to Alabama yet.
So that's four.
That's 4. Alabama's won 6. So how do
Oh my
you
gosh.
hate on a conference that has 10 national championships in 16 years? Let's not forget one of those games the conference was going to win because Georgia played Alabama. If it wasn't for Clemson beating Bama twice, we'd be talking different numbers altogether.
I also think we're missing Florida. Didn't Florida get
And
Super Bowl?
Florida won, I think, back to back years with Urban Meyer.
That's 12.
Oh, forgot about Florida.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a conference that has utterly dominated. Ridiculously dominated college football over the
You're
past
being
20
nice.
years,
You're still being nice.
right? Oh,
You put TC. I get TCU, bro. I get it. Here's what we're dancing around. I get TCU. I get it. As an Alabama fan, I get it. They are in the Big 12. They you can't you don't want to penalize them from getting to the Big 12 championship game and losing a tough team to
right,
a tough game to a who's now a top 10 team in your rankings. I get that part.
right.
Ohio State lost by 22 points
At least, yeah.
to their rival. We lost by a combined 4 points.
To two conference foes,
Like I just
right?
I get it's cute. It's
It's
cool.
cute to say Alabama doesn't get in because they have two losses,
Right.
right?
We did.
So okay, fine. If you're the committee and you say, well, we're not going to penalize, Ohio State
Right.
for losing by 22,
Right.
right? But we could penalize Alabama by
In
losing
my
two
opinion,
games by four. But they're
Alabama shouldn't have
losses
got
in
in.
this college, and
Alabama shouldn't have got in.
I don't think
They
so
shouldn't have
either. I
got in.
think Alabama should not have got in because if you win one of those games, you're in, right?
100%.
You're in. So you lost two. Your record says 10-2. At the end of the day, that's what your record says. Irregardless of it being by 4 points or 40, you lost two games.
Right.
So guess what? You go to the Sugar Bowl, you take all your frustrations out on Kansas State, right? And then you get ready for the next year.
And you get on to next year.
And that's what
I'm cool with
Alabama
what happened
does,
in Alabama.
and I'm
We'll be
fine.
fine.
I am not
This is the
upset.
Georgia Invitational.
And
Whoever plays Georgia is getting
Georgia is
smoked.
going to be Georgia's going to win. If Georgia loses, that listen, if you're an Alabama fan and Georgia loses,
Georgia not losing.
you're talking mad crap, right?
Georgia not
Because
losing.
but Georgia is not going to lose
Georgia's not losing to these people,
to
man.
any. There's nobody.
Michigan will be
Michigan
fun
will give them a game
because I think Michigan
initially.
is legit,
Initially, if Michigan can weather the storm,
but they can't score on them. That defense, you're
that's
not
going to
scoring
be
on
a
them,
key.
man.
But I don't see Georgia losing. I see Georgia
No.
going back to back. Um, and
And Georgia is
honest,
host, and Ohio State is has to go to Atlanta to play Georgia in this conference semifinal. Come on, bro. Like they set Ohio State up. This
no,
is a hit job.
they said about bad for this. They
This is
said
a hit job.
and also one of their best receivers decided he's not going to play.
He knows what's
So
coming.
so
Nah,
so
y'all
he
do that.
said I don't want no parts of
Y'all
that
do that.
game.
I've
Of
been
that
hurt for the
game
year.
with
I'm
that
not
team. I've
coming
been
back
hurt
against
all for
Georgia,
the. I'm
bro.
not coming back just to get slaughtered by Georgia
I'm good.
in Georgia.
I'm fine with
So
what happened to Alabama. That's
yeah,
cool.
I'm
You're not
okay
gonna
with it.
get. We're not gonna get some angry rants or
Nah,
anything. What I'm
we'll see you
going.
next year.
What's going to be frustrating though is when we cycle to this NFC East over here.
Okay.
Here we are. Now, we talked about Thanksgiving. I told everybody we were losing by 2 touchdowns from Thanksgiving. Nobody want to believe me. I know my squad. I know us. I knew it was coming. We're not good. And people kept saying, "Oh, you're 7-1. That's cute." We are not good though. And now it's starting to look like there are there's a gap. There's Philly, small gap, then there's Dallas, then there's a gap, and then there's us two bums down here seeing if we can make the playoffs, bro. That's all it is.
Listen,
That's all it is.
one thing I've been able to say about the Giants, and we'll get to Philadelphia and Dallas, but the Giants have played hard, and
Oh Lord.
maybe we have overlooked that they're still a young team and need to grow. And maybe we just got caught up in the 7-1
They're not good.
and said, you know what, that team is better than advertised. But you know what, the second half of the season has shown that the adjustments that other teams are making is working against the Giants. And And I think that
You don't have to adjust to you don't have anybody to throw the ball. We had
here we go. Here we go. Come on, go ahead.
Darius Slayton is wide receiver one in New York, bro. Why
Darius Darius Slayton
is
should be
is
wide
wide
receiver
receiver one?
three.
Why are we playing around with this, man?
Well, you know what?
Like Isaiah Hodgins is out here celebrating like he's prime TO when he's catching the ball, bro. We are going through hell out here in this passing game. And Dave was trying to get Daniel Jones killed. I know that's all. He don't want Daniel Jones. He don't want him, but he can't bench him. You know what? I got 7 naked bootlegs for you today, Daniel. You know what? If that first read ain't there, just run, baby. Run, put your head down. Get down there. He's
Yeah,
trying to get him out
yeah.
of here without getting
Daniel
him out of
Jones is
here.
taking some abuse. He is. He's
But
taking some abuse.
here's the thing: NFC East
But you can still salvage
flex
some
to Sunday
things.
night
Yeah, you can still salvage.
in Washington against the Washington Commodore Commander whatever they want to cut, Kamehamehas,
You got to
whatever
beat
they
Trevor
want to call
Simeon.
themselves
You
now.
got to beat Trevor Simeon.
No, it's no, you don't even know. It's Taylor Heineke. It's the same
Oh,
dude.
that's right. It's Heineke. I forgot
It's
about
Taylor
same guy.
Heineke.
They play this. They play similar.
And just when we come back, my man Delvin, no, the Commanders fan, I Commanders to the Super Bowl. I need people to stop drinking, bro.
Is that gonna show up on the feed? People are gonna see that.
People are watching this live. Yes,
Oh,
every time I
okay.
put it up here, I just need people to know that Delvin, he's my man's, but he drunk. But if we be just like my man Brendan said, and you know what, we got all NFCs in here. Brendan is your fellow Dallas guy who I always tell you about. This is my man B. If we beat Washington, we're fine. Here's what's gonna
I think
happen
if you
though.
beat Washington, your path to the playoffs it does get a lot clearer
Just win.
because the
I
rest of
don't
your season
just
is very
win.
winnable.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is.
not. We're not good.
Well, you don't play Dallas no more this year.
We play Philly the last week of the year. Maybe it won't matter for them.
It
Maybe.
won't matter for Philly.
Because if it does, we're losing by 20. We play we play the Vikings, who are Fugazi. Guess who's not
You
Fugazi?
don't know who. You don't know
Justin
what.
Jefferson. He's gonna have 300 yards receiving against us. Who's gonna stop him? Nobody. No one, bro.
They
Nobody.
might lock him down. Dallas locked him down.
Dallas has Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons and Dan Quinn calling the plays and a legit pass rush. We have
Wink Martindale. Wait a minute. Why are you looking at me like
you
that?
feel me?
I'm just
I'm saying, you ain't got to call that man
I
Wink, yo.
can't I can't I can't trust any defensive coordinator named Wink Martindale.
We
He
got
sound like
like
a game show host
a door with the long microphone.
with the look like Bob
The
Barker's
survey says
microphone.
blah blah. Like we're done.
He
Out.
got a
Like
Bob Barker microphone calling out the defensive
this is
plays.
it. Sunday night is the biggest Giants game in 5 years. It's sad, but it is.
Okay, all right.
Because since the 2016 playoffs, where the whole boat season, when all of our wide receivers are naked on a boat with Timberland boots on, taking a picture, we've been trashed since then.
I
And we
understand.
haven't had any. This is the biggest Giants game in 5 years. Just win. Just
You
show
know,
up once. We
I think
tied
the
these
Giants.
bums 2 weeks ago where we
Is this
shouldn't have
game
won.
this game is in
It's
Washington?
in Washington Sunday night, man.
Sunday night in Washington. Yeah. I think the
Just
game is
win.
winnable because you don't know what Washington team gonna show up. You just
Lord.
don't know. And they haven't been as consistent lately. They have been on a bit of a roll, but you don't know which defense is going to show
That
up.
tie makes me want to throw up on myself.
And that tie does hurt. That tie hurts.
Daniel
That
Jones has never won a primetime game in his life.
I
Thursday
will
night,
I will leave that
Sunday
alone
night,
because
Monday night, Gladys night. It doesn't matter, bro. He just never wins. He doesn't
Ray
win.
Knight, Bobby Knight.
He's never won, bro. This is. I'm
you
gonna
know,
be.
listen.
I'm not gonna be well Sunday night. I'm not gonna be
You're gonna
okay.
be fine. You're gonna be
I'm not
fine.
gonna be all right, man.
We're gonna do something we don't normally do. We're gonna predict a game. We're gonna predict that game.
Oh, who's we?
Me and you,
Oh my god, you didn't say we are doing this.
Giants. I think the Giants win by 3. Giants win by 3. I just don't trust Washington.
You remember Rocky 3 when
Yes.
when they said,
Rocky
"Clubber,
3 was the one with Clubber Lang.
right, what's your prediction for the fight?" And he looks at the camera and goes, "Pain." That's my prediction. Pain. I'm gonna be hurt somehow, bro, because it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a tight game, and it's gonna come down to, can we get a first down here?
Uh-huh.
Can we get a stop here? Can we can we run an extra minute and a half? It's just, it's going to come down to something little. And
Okay.
if we pull it off, if we do it, if we win this game, I'll believe that maybe we can win another game and make the playoffs. I'll believe it then, because
Right.
this game is huge.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not like
right.
haha
It
huge.
definitely
It's a
is.
monster
Yeah.
game for this
Yeah.
team, because it's the biggest game that anybody on this team has played in the last five
In a
years.
long time. That's right. That's a good point. That's fair. That's very fair.
It just is. Now, now we're gonna look up to the other rungs of the NFC East. Your boy Micah Parsons was on Von Miller's podcast today, asked about Jalen Hurts, asked about Philly. Von was like, "Do you think Jalen Hurts is good? Do you think it's the system? Do you think?" And Von Miller was like, "I think it's a little both." Your boy MAGA Micah,
Wow.
make America great again, decided he wanted to say it's all system and, and scheme.
Listen. Listen.
What's going on with your man? What's up?
Listen. Micah Parsons.
What's up with your man, Joe?
Micah Parsons don't give no damns, man.
He doesn't.
Micah Parsons don't really care, and he is bought into this anti-Eagles rivalry more than any player on that team other than Trayvon Diggs. If you
And
remember
Christmas Eve
last
is when
year,
y'all play, right?
yeah. So
Okay.
if you remember last year in Philadelphia, Trayvon Diggs took everything personal. And now listen. He likes Jalen Hurts, but every play he made against Jalen Hurts, he let Jalen Hurts know about it.
He did. That's
Um,
Bama stuff too.
that's that Bama thing,
That's
like
a little bit
yeah,
of
we
Alabama.
Bama.
Yeah.
So this year, Philly wins, but Dallas isn't 100%.
No,
That
they beat Cooper
in
Rush.
that game, they beat Cooper Rush. We're gonna see what they do when Dallas is won't be now. Let me change that. Dallas is not 100% in the secondary. Jordan Lewis is out for the year, so is Anthony Brown.
Let's not start. Come on, man.
Right. So it's going to
Come
be
on, man.
interesting when Dallas plays
They got your
Philadelphia
guy
again.
Dakota Rain back.
I have said it publicly, and I'm gonna say it again. Dakota Rain will not win a Super Bowl in Dallas. He just won't. He doesn't have that ability to win that game for you in the playoffs when
Mm,
you need 3 points. Or if you need
mm,
7 points, meaning you got to get six and get the extra point. He has not proven that in the playoffs, right? The game they won in the playoffs, they ran away with that game. You have to prove that you can win and put a ball in a tight window against better teams,
mm.
against the teams you're likely going to play come playoff time, right? That's always been the mantra for any playoff team. If you're going to win and win consistently, you have to put a ball in a tight window. That's where Jalen Hurts is going to have some issues come
Right.
playoff time. He is a very good quarterback when somebody's open by 10 yards. Somebody's open by 5 yards, he will get that ball to you. Fitting that ball in a tight window, fitting that ball in the back shoulder fade, putting that ball in the back corner where only your guy can catch it is the difference between the great quarterbacks and the Dakota Rains, who's a good quarterback. He's not great, right? So
Okay.
and also even the Patrick Mahomes. He's a mobile. He's not a running quarterback, but he's mobile. But Patrick Mahomes can put a ball exactly where you need it, as he has proven.
Right.
And that's and
Comparing
come
him to
playoff
Pat.
times,
Right.
yeah. When it
Comparing
comes
him
to
to Pat
playoff
is tough
time, it's
because
going to be
Pat
tough.
might be, because Mahomes might be the most, like, the single most talented as far as just
I think
talent
so. I
ever at
agree
the
with that.
position.
I agree
Like,
with that.
he's running to his right, doing scoop passes on the run to become like it's just, like he does things that you can't.
Yeah,
But the thing with Dak as an outside guy who wants him to fail, but knows that the kid's talented. I think that and you can correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody who's watching, who watches this and cares about this more, I think that if he uses his legs even a little bit more, I think he would be better.
that
I think it's
that
going to
part,
open up a lot more of his game because he's
that
mobile,
part.
because he
See,
ran. Now I
that is,
understand he got
yeah,
hurt.
yeah.
The lower leg injuries are tough, but I think if they were to design 2 runs a game for him, or if he were to trust himself instead of trying to force any kind of ball anywhere to just run for 6, 7, 8, 9 yards, it's going to open up the game for him.
That is
That's just what I
key.
see from the
That
outside.
is the biggest key pre-Dak in pre-injury to, to now. When Dak first came into the league, using his legs to extend the play or extend the drive, always kept those linebackers in the box, right?
Right,
So that enabled them to go over the top, and that enabled those tight ends to find the middle, find the seam, or get in the middle of the field. Dak has not used his legs with any confidence since he's been back from injury.
right,
And that is going to be a telling point because defenses are going to want him to stay in the pocket. They're going to want him to prove that you can beat us as a pocket passer. If he gets outside and extends, he's very dangerous then. But they have been able, when Dallas has lost games, it's because they've been able to keep him within the pocket and make him force a throw because they already can tell he's not comfortable using his legs. He's
right,
not comfortable making that hard stop and pivoting.
right.
That's going to be, and again, maybe it's a mental thing, maybe it's a fear, maybe he's just not trusting it at this point. But come playoff time, that's going to be an issue for Dallas. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, has no problem using his legs, which is why he's able to have such a higher passer rating than anybody else in the league so far this year, right? So when Jalen Hurts is able to use his legs and extend the play, get 15 yards here, 11 yards here, 4 yards there, they have specific plays in Philadelphia just for Jalen Hurts to use his skill set as a runner.
Right.
So that's helping them. Now you have AJ Brown being covered by a linebacker. That's a mismatch. Now you have Devonta going over the top over a safety. That's a mismatch because they have to look for Jalen Hurts on many plays. They have a nice running game over there with Sanders. They have a couple of good tight ends that they can slide the ball to. But the biggest difference between Philadelphia, their defense is outstanding this year. I think they're the top rated defense in the league, at least top three.
San Fran, I think might
Right?
be, but Philly's
Right.
defense is very good. Yep.
And then if you add to that, their offensive efficiency is very high. That's a recipe to go to an NFC championship or Super Bowl. They have the recipe to do so. The problem is going to be how do you contain their quarterback? Because that system that they run there is very similar to the system Indy used to run when Frank Reich was there. They had a better personnel. So
Okay.
that system is a very good system for a quarterback who is mobile, who is able to get outside the pocket, and it's designed to spread the field. If you look at, and I'll give you a good example. If you look at Philadelphia's offense and look at Tennessee's offense, right?
Hmm.
They spread the field very wide. And the reason for that is because you want more space for your receivers to get open as opposed to bunching them in where you have less space. A defender can get on you a little bit more. So Philadelphia uses a lot of that mindset by sending their receivers out a little wider than usual. Your cornerbacks are further away from a play. So
Right.
now if you hit the running back with a little screen, a little something in a flat, or you hit your tight end, you have a lot of open field in front of you.
Philly is very good.
You know what I mean? So they're
Philly is very
smart
good.
in how they're using their offense and using their personnel. And getting AJ Brown is just putting them over the top. They were a very good team last year, but they weren't
Yes,
going to go far with that personnel grouping. AJ
they're
Brown
great this year.
has made, which really is what cost the Titans head coach their job, because you're dumb behind. I mean, the GM his job, because you're dumb behind trade our best receiver. And what do we have? And we killing Derrick Henry out here, man. So
Me and my
that's what
man
that's
B were
about.
watching it like we when the news came up, like Titans versus Eagles, they were just sitting there watching like, oh, we couldn't pay this dude. Like he was killing Tennessee,
Killing it. And they
killing
fired him right after the
Tennessee.
game. Bye. You got to go, man. And that's what happens. You trade away your second best player. Some may say, depending on how you feel about Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry is either your best player or your second best player behind AJ Brown, right? So you trade away really the guy on offense other teams had to had to game plan for. Who's game planning for Tennessee's receivers? Anybody game planning for them? I don't even know their names right now, man.
Traylon Burks got hurt.
Right?
He's shown some
He's
flashes.
he's not
Robert
he's not
Woods is washed up.
he's not better. Neither one
Robert
of them are
Woods
better than
is
AJ Brown,
no. There are a few people better than AJ Brown,
right?
and
And
AJ
so
Brown is out here. AJ Brown is
and
wonderful.
AJ Brown out here
AJ
balling
Brown
out,
looks great.
and he's looking
Philly's gonna
like
get the one seed,
they're gonna
but
get.
thanks. I mean, Christmas Eve, Philly at Dallas is a monster. Like
Listen,
that's gonna be fun, man. That's gonna be fun to
Dallas has to
watch.
first get by a very different looking Jacksonville team.
They do. They do.
We can't look past a four just because Jacksonville is 4-8 or 5-8,
No, they're
5-8,
five
five
wins
and eight.
now. Yeah,
And so we can't look past because they have played better. Trevor Lawrence has played much, much better the last 3 to 4 weeks.
magnificent game
They're
last week.
playing, yep, yeah, they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm. They play, and everybody gets up. Dallas can be 0-15s. They're gonna get up for Dallas because it's Dallas,
Oh,
right?
well, look at what the
So
Texans did this past week.
exactly,
Yeah,
and if Dallas allowed the Texans to hang in there until the fourth quarter, going into Jacksonville, which is not a good place for Dallas to play. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Dallas has ever won in Jacksonville.
I don't know.
They've beaten Jacksonville before, but I don't know if they've ever won in Jacksonville. I have to look that up. But they don't have a good it feels like one of those games, a trap game in which Dallas can be in big trouble looking ahead to Philadelphia, messing with Jacksonville. Right? Especially when you have a depleted secondary and Trevor Lawrence is beginning to throw the ball and put up ping pong numbers all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah,
So that's a little scary game right there. But we'll take our chances with it and we'll see what happens.
you have to.
Yeah. So we've gotten through Alabama, roll tide,
Roll damn tide
gotten through the
always.
NFC East. Yo, Uncle Steve out here, man.
Uncle Stevie is throwing the
So
money around.
listen, if you're a Mets fan, right? If you're a Mets fan, and we watched our team win 101 games and then lose 3 out of 5, right?
No, we
No,
lost two out of
two
three
out
at
of
home.
three because that's little sorry series is best 2 out of 3, right?
Two out of three, and one hit in an elimination game.
One hit. You watch your team and you sit back and you say, we win 101 games. How did we lose? Well, you lost because you had no offense. You didn't have an
Yeah,
offense that scared the other team. And you had a San Diego team that hit the ball out of the park on you. You had an Atlanta team that hits the ball out of the park on
they
you.
do
You have a Philly team that got to the World Series by hitting the
by
ball
smoking the ball.
out of the park. Outside of Alonso, yes, you had some great power numbers from Lindor as far
You
as,
have
right? But you still need someone to protect Alonso behind Alonso. Yes, you have Lindor in front of him, but you still have to have somebody who another offense can fear behind Pete. But let me tell you what Uncle Steve says. You know what, Jake DeGrom, we offered you 3 years on average annual value around 40 million. We were going to pay you nice. but we weren't going to give you 4 or 5 years.
You
We're
can't
going
have
to
five
give you
years, bro.
3 years because you haven't pitched 3 consecutive years healthy.
In your life.
In 8 years, you've been with the team. So
Right.
if you're the Mets, it's not as if the Mets did not want Jake DeGrom. I believe wholeheartedly they wanted him. They made him an offer, right?
Right.
But he took the 5 year deal because Texas, in their wisdom, decided, listen, we're going to pay you the money you want, but we're going to give you 5 years.
Right.
Right? And guess what? Maybe Jake DeGrom just didn't want to pitch in New York. Maybe New York was just not who he was. He's a boy from Florida. He didn't want to, you knew he wasn't going to go to Tampa or go to the Marlins. Atlanta put up a token offer, but they didn't really care for him to go to Atlanta for some of the
Right.
similar reasons why the Mets didn't offer him the 4 to 5 years. So
Exactly.
he goes to Texas, he gets his money, he gets his 5 years. If he suddenly becomes healthier than an ox, then you know what?
You know
That's
what?
typical.
More power to him.
More power to him. But if he doesn't, Met fans can still say we did put an offer out there. He didn't give us a chance to counter the offer. He wanted to go. Sometimes players just don't want to be here. Pitching and playing in New York is not for everyone. It's just not. You
It's
have to
not.
have a certain mentality, a certain attitude, because the press and the fan base are starved for success, especially Mets fans. The press that's going to follow him in Texas is not going to be the same type of press that follows him in New York.
Right. Right.
The media outlets coming out of New York or I mean, he might have 10 press credentials, guys with credentials in Texas with the Rangers. He'll have 30 of that in New York. So all of that on you, sometimes it does play a part in your performance or in your decision to want to stay or leave. There's other players like Pete Alonso who loves it here.
He does.
Lindor loves it here. Scherzer has proven he likes it here. But listen, Verlander wants to be here because he wants to probably say, you know what, I want to play on the biggest market,
He does.
the biggest stage, and
And
show everybody what I
that
can do.
I'm really that guy. Right.
And I think the Mets with, um, I think the Mets with um, Verlander, Scherzer, we
Scherzer
could keep
behind them.
Scherzer.
Hmm.
Scherzer could give us 20, 25 starts, hopefully. Uh, Hopefully they'll keep Cookie Carrasco. They have Quintana.
Brought in
That
Robertson.
Robertson to help with that bullpen. The Mets pitching will not be the problem. If the
We
Mets can
need
put runs on the
we need a
board,
bat, man.
we
We
just
still
need
need to
one
hit. We
more
still
bat.
need somebody to come in, and we need to because the Mets were great at manufacturing runs last year.
Yes,
We
they
get
were.
guys on base, they get guys around. Every once in a while, like Pete, powerful. Lindor started to find his stride.
Yep.
I like that we brought back Nimmo. We got Nimmo for 8 years. Nimmo's
I
good.
think Nimmo
He,
rightfully should retire a Met. He is the
yes,
guy
he's a
that
great defensive
he,
center fielder. He can get
yeah.
hit. He can hit the ball. Jeff McNeil just coming off a batting title. We just need a little bit. We need a little more power. Or Uncle Stevie's saving up for Otani next year.
Um,
Uncle Stevie might be like, you know who I want? I want Otani, man.
I think that at some point, I think the Mets are going to go younger at certain positions. I see
Hmm.
Brett Beatty being a part of the everyday lineup.
Okay,
A lefty bat that you could put behind, maybe a couple of spots behind Pete, right? You need that. I think that Mark Vientos has a future with the Mets, whether it's a future DH every day or spell him at third base here and there. But I think he has a future with the Mets. I think that
fair.
I know, and we all know that Francisco Alvarez is the future behind the plate.
100%.
And he's going to bring some power. He's going to bring some, and he's has to work on he doesn't have to walk on his plate, his pitch calling. He has to work more on his defensive posture, especially with runners on base. But I think as he grows, he's only 19, 20 years old. He'll grow into that. And I think that the Mets are going to be extremely balanced again. But maybe they're looking more at Beatty, Vientos, some other
Right.
guys
Right.
within their system rather than paying more money than
Rather than paying more
anybody else.
money.
Yes, but I think pitching wise, the Mets pitching rotation on paper is already better than last year. We lost Taiwan Walker. Okay. Taiwan Walker is a great first half pitcher. He tends to fold up in the second half of the
He
year.
does.
Uh, we've lost Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett probably wasn't going to end up staying anyway. Um, and I believe we had another pitcher. Trevor Williams is now with Washington. He was a good guy to have for long relief
I'm not
out of the
worried.
bullpen.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
So, the Mets would be okay. I think the Mets
They
would
will
be
be.
fine. The Mets would be, again, a playoff team next year. I really believe
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Listen, that National League is going crazy. Like San Diego, they obviously they don't care.
They
They just
don't
brought
care
in
at
the
all. The Giants just paid a 350 million for Korea.
yeah, yeah. So teams are spending.
They
Aaron Judge re-signed with the Yankees. That's good. Stay out of the National League. We don't need you over here
We don't need you
because that will
tormenting
just
us over here.
nah. So things are getting interesting. Let's
Yeah.
finish though. Here's what I want to talk about most. Deion Sanders, man. You are from like you went to college, spent 4 beautiful years down in Grambling. That conference means a lot to you. That that community means a whole lot to you. Dion going down there, I know, was personally something that reinvigorated black colleges, and it was something that was really important. Everybody galvanized about Jackson State. Got to Jackson State, he did his job.
Uh-huh.
Undefeated so far this year. They got the bowl game just to finish off the season. Let's see if they can do that. Because last year they got smoked in the Celebration Bowl, but
That
this
they did.
year
Yep.
can he go off? Him, Shador, Travis Hunter finish the job at Jackson State, but Deion Sanders is now the head coach in Colorado, Colorado Buffaloes, Power Five conference. Deion is there.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of sadness of him leaving the SWAC because the SWAC had never gotten as much attention as they did when primetime came down there. There have been big time coaches there, but this is something different. He brought he brought all the light down to there. And now he's taking that light and he's taking it to a team in Colorado who was terrible, who has been bad for a long time.
Yes, yes.
Do you think he can do the same thing in Colorado that he did in Jackson State? Not go undefeated, but bring that same level of skill, bring that same level of attention and quality football play in
No,
Colorado.
no.
Mm.
And I'll tell you why. It's not nothing against Dion. Dion played in a Power Five conference. He has to understand the Power Five mindset, right?
Okay.
Of one, that conference should be a competitive. He should be competitive in that conference. The Big 12 isn't the old Big 12. You're about to lose Oklahoma. You're about
I
to
think they're in the
lose.
Pac-12 now, aren't they?
No, that's right. You're right. They're the Pac-12. So that's a
Yeah.
conference pretty much dominated by
USC, UCLA
USC,
is still good.
UCLA,
You
still
got
good.
Oregon out there.
Oregon,
You've
Washington can
got
still play
Utah.
you.
Utah's out there.
Utah.
You've got
So
some
he's
really
going to be
good
playing
teams.
against some teams that are going to be very good, and they're going to be warm weather, right? Going to Colorado in the middle of the winter, eh, right? So some of these skill players, especially on the receiver side, quarterbacks are going to go to UCLA, USC, the teams that that traditionally get those players, right? I think Dion also has to dealing with NIL is different in a Power Five school than it is at a HBCU because you're not getting those big NIL deals in a HBCU. I don't care how
Right,
good you are, right?
right.
If Travis Hunter had went to Florida State, his NIL deals would be
Was massive.
three
Yeah,
times the amount he would have at,
it's very fair.
right? So he's going to have to learn how to navigate that. He's going to have to also navigate the transfer portal, right? He's already come there and told players they might as well enter the portal, right?
That speech is the
Right?
best speech.
So
Listen,
I listened to the whole speech.
I'm
Said
bringing
nothing
my
about
own
this.
luggage
I'm bringing my own luggage. I'm bringing
in
my
this.
own dogs. I'm bringing my own horses. I'm bringing.
I'm coming.
I'm coming. I'm coming. The guy at his press conference looks over at his son. Where's Shador? That's your quarterback. That like so. Whoever else on that roster, it don't matter, man. That dude right there is your quarterback. And then he sort of fixed it.
Right?
Oh, he gonna have to earn it. No, he ain't.
No, he's
That's your
not.
quarterback,
That's your guy,
right? Shiloh was a little upset because Shiloh likes it at Jackson State,
Jackson State.
right? His daughter likes it at Jackson State, but
Right.
I will say this as a father, he's done a great job in coaching his kids and developing
100%.
his kids to be good people, to be athletes, to find their way.
Hmm.
He's not going to abandon his kids now. So his kids, he's in Colorado. His kids going to be in Colorado. Shador said this is going to be the starting quarterback at the University of
Right.
Colorado, right?
At
But here's the
wonderful
problem.
facility, but here's the step before you even go past that. Colorado, wonderful facilities,
Uh-huh.
like state of the art facilities. There's a ton of money in there. Beautiful campus.
Yeah.
Like they are going to, and he's probably going to bring about 8 to 10 kids with him from Jackson State who he'll lock in and put there just because he trusts these kids.
Yep.
They're never going to be more prepared physically than they are going to be there. I think I think that's going to matter. I think at first people are going to want to play for Colorado because there's going to be more eyes on Colorado than there have been.
More TV exposure, more
Yeah,
yeah,
more
it's gonna be
everything.
more everything.
And
He's gonna
kids
bring
these
that.
days do want looks. They want to be okay. Nah, I'm
They
going
want to
out
be
here to play for
seen.
Coach Prime.
That's right. They want to be seen.
Can that is but now to segue in, is that going to resonate on Saturday?
Nope.
Is it going to resonate on Saturday for them to can they win 5, 6 games this coming year instead of the one game they won this year? Can they
I'm
get
going
the
to
can they get the 5 wins?
well, let me tell you this. I'm going to look up right now the University of Colorado the schedule for next
Because I'm
year.
pretty sure they won one game last year, right?
They were 1-11.
Okay.
So, and this is going to be this is a good subject.
Can he get the five? Now wins versus how well they play. I understand the first year they'll give him some leeway, but can he get the 4 or 5 wins and not be a one-win team like they were last year? Because they're not good. They are
Right.
horrible. That's what they're not good.
Now let's discuss this. Now this past year they won again. They were 1-11. Correct.
Right.
These are the teams that they traditionally play in their conference. They play TCU,
Mm,
right? Right. They play now. TCU was an out of conference game
it
for them,
was.
right? Air Force they typically play because they're both in the state of Colorado. The Air Force Academy is in Colorado Springs,
Okay.
but so that's a game they should win, right? Should, but you never know with Air
You know
Force.
what? I wonder if the
Those.
schedule is out.
Right?
Colorado
I don't think the
2023.
2023
I don't think it
schedule's
is
out.
either.
They'll have to probably play UCLA, Arizona, Cal, right? Oregon State, Washington, Utah, probably Oregon, Arizona State, USC. Can Deion Sanders win 6 games to be bowl eligible in that conference? That's going to be the key.
Actually, you know what? We do have the schedule. Give me 1 second, my friend. I think that is the 2023 schedule. I think they're doing like a home and home with TCU. So yeah, 2023 Colorado football schedule at TCU week 1, win or loss
Loss.
versus Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Hmm.
Nebraska's that's not that good. I give them a win against Nebraska.
Okay. Colorado State
Colorado State's never been good at football, so they should beat them.
at Arizona State. It's a
Loss.
fun one.
Loss.
Versus Arizona,
Loss.
Oregon State. You want to say loss, man? Go ahead.
Loss. Loss.
Stanford.
Win.
Okay. So right now we're sitting at 3 wins. USC, we're not going to
Which
talk
ones did I
about
give
that.
them? Which ones did I give them?
You gave them Nebraska, Colorado State, and then Oregon State just now.
No, they gonna lose to Oregon State.
Oh, okay. Um,
They gonna lose it. They gonna
oh
lose
no,
it.
Stanford. Excuse me.
I
You,
gave
you gave
them
them
a win
Stanford.
against Stanford, but Stanford. That's
That's
only
three.
because Stanford just bringing in a new coach, new
Hmm.
system, so they might offset each other a little bit. So
Okay.
I'll give the edge to Deion.
USC, we're not going to talk about.
Nope,
At Oregon, we're not going to talk
loss.
about. At UCLA, we're not going to talk about.
That's another loss.
At Utah, we're not going to talk.
Oh,
And
that's
then
gonna
at
be an embarrassing
Washington State to end the season. Like, can
loss.
he get the? Is 4 wins a
He'll go
success?
3-8 his
Three and
first
eight.
season. Yep.
Okay, 3-8.
Now, compared to 1-11 a year prior, will Colorado fans accept 3-8? Because we're
I
not
think so.
talking right. So if they will accept 3-8, they can always say
Maybe 4-7. Yeah,
we can build on 4-7, we can build on 5-6, we can build on 6-6, we can build on. But here's the thing: Dion won't be there after his kids graduate.
you don't think so?
Dion is going. He's out of there.
Isn't Shador a senior?
Shador's a sophomore.
Shador's a sophomore. Is he?
I believe Shador's a sophomore.
That you know what? Should that's a really, really,
Look
really,
it up, but
really
I
good
believe,
point.
or he could be a junior. I'm not sure, but I don't think he redshirted. No, he didn't redshirt at Jackson State. So I believe Shador
Let's
Sanders.
see. Shador Sanders is a sophomore, so he's going
Sophomore.
to his junior year.
Yeah. Yep. He's going into his junior year. Yep.
Dion has two. So you think
So
two
he's going
years
to
at
have it.
Colorado?
Yep. 2 years. I think now Shiloh Sanders, his other son,
He's younger. He's a freshman,
he's
right?
a younger one. I believe he's a freshman or going into his sophomore year.
He's going into his sophomore year. Shador's going into his junior year. So 3 years in Colorado. I don't think this is his end goal. I don't think Colorado is his end goal. I think Florida
Um,
State is his end goal.
I
I think
think
Dion wants to be the head coach of Florida State in 3 years.
um I think that yes. I think that he becomes if he does well at Colorado, and when I mean well, he's going to have to be bowl eligible to go on to Florida State because he
I
needs
agree.
to bring that resume with him
I agree.
to Florida State,
If
right?
5 and 6 is not enough, he's got
Five
to
and
get to a
six
bowl game.
not enough. You gotta if you're gonna go to Florida State because Florida State has started playing better towards the end of the
They
year,
have.
right?
Agreed.
So if you're going to upend that for Deion Sanders, you're gonna have to make sure that you are bowl eligible and not just bowl eligible. You got to win a bowl game, maybe two, right? Because you go to Florida State, that means you're playing Clemson. That means you play North Carolina. That means you playing, a different level of competition, right? Nothing
Plus
against the
the out of
Pac-12,
conference. Yeah.
right? But plus you got to play your out of conference games.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do go to Florida State,
Which would be amazing. It
which would
would
be
be.
amazing for him, he's a legend there. He is a legend at Florida State. If he goes there, you're gonna have to go there with a track record, not your track record from an HBCU, because they're not gonna care about that.
They're not going to care about that.
Right? They're going to care now that you're at a Power Five school. They're going to want to see, let's see what he does there. Let's see
I'm
what he
so
does
intrigued.
at
I'm so
there.
intrigued by
Now, him
this.
leaving Jackson State, I'm not surprised. Jackson State, like most HBCUs, I'm speaking from an HBCU
Hmm.
vantage point. We're always underfunded. We're always playing in conditions that no other schools don't have to deal with. We share our facilities with everybody else, right? We most HBCUs are woefully underfunded.
Right.
Just maybe 5 years ago, Grambling had to come out with a huge fundraiser just to get new equipment
Right.
to work out in,
Right.
just for your, just to work out on.
Right.
So the fact that, and this is Grambling we're talking about, a
Right.
state universities. Now Jackson is a state university, but when money gets when you talk about funding for HBCUs, please understand, America, when you're in Bowie State, Grambling State, Jackson State, Alcorn State, you should be
Hmm.
getting a nice amount of funding from your state government, from your education department within your state, right? So every school should be getting a decent amount. That doesn't happen because Mississippi State and Ole Miss are always going to get a lion's share of funding.
Right.
The second thing about that is this: the alumni of HBCUs just don't have the resources to fund like other schools do. You don't have Fortune 500 billionaires coming out of Grambling.
You
You don't
don't.
have them coming out of Jackson State. You may have a nice job as a police officer or a nurse, maybe med school, but you're not going to have people who can endow you with $1 million. You don't have people who can endow you with 500 grand or 100 grand like a Stanford can, like a USC can, like a Alabama can, like a Georgia can. So you're always going to be at an
Yeah.
HBCU
You're really seeing
underfunded.
that type of stuff coming out of
Yes.
the Howard University, maybe a
Howard.
Hampton University, but
Yes,
probably
because
Howard.
Howard is probably on a level of financial endowment is on a different level,
Right.
right?
Right.
The
Exactly.
District of Columbia helps fund Howard.
Howard University. Yeah.
Morehouse has a lot of alumni with long,
Right.
deep pockets,
Right.
right?
Right.
Just a couple of years, a man, a member of my fraternity in Alpha, paid all of the senior class student debt
Yep.
at Morehouse. Spelman's another school right across the street from Morehouse. Those
Right.
ladies there, they're different. They have longer pockets, but the majority of HBCUs don't have it. So what Deion did when he got there, he brought his name.
He put his name.
He brought his contacts with American Airlines so we could fly better planes than Spirit, Spirit or Frontier Airlines or whatever else is flying out of Jackson, right?
Right.
He was able to bring his name and get suits for these players so they can all wear a suit and be professional in their in how they go about things. And so they can look the part. He brought deals with Under Armour so they could have better equipment.
Yeah.
So that he brought all of that. He doesn't have to bring that to Colorado. Colorado has these deals in place. Now he may add to it, but he doesn't have to come there with it. And he did all of that with Jackson State and took us and took a portion of his salary to help pay for better facilities. Jackson State wasn't putting 40, 50,000 people in the stands before Deion. But guess what happened? He went undefeated this year. Some They were stealing stuff out of his car, stealing stuff out of his office, stealing
Yep.
stuff here. You know, you're not protecting the one person who has made you
Who's
relevant
right?
on an athletic. So why not leave? I can't blame him for leaving. Now maybe he had
That's
it
a
in
really
his
good
mind
point.
to leave anyway. But if you're as university and you're not protecting the asset that has made Jackson State relevant,
Yeah, that's fair.
then you don't deserve Deion
It's
Sanders.
very fair. It's a very good point.
And that's the same with if and that would be the same if he went to Grambling, if he went to Alabama A&M, Alabama State, whatever HBCU he would have went to, the same applies. We put more substance in a band than we do the football team. Right? People come into the game, watch the band, go back outside and get drunk. They don't do that at Power Five schools.
They don't. That's a very
They're
good
there
point.
to support. That's another thing. They're there to support their team. They're there to support their program. They're
Right.
there to support these kids from
Battle of
the
the Bands is
beginning
the
of the
biggest
game.
thing at a lot of
The,
these
a lot of these
HBCUs. Yeah.
schools, right? If you look at Grambling and Southern, every year people want to know who won the step
It's the
show
Battle of the Bands.
and the battle of the bands. They don't. Well, I don't know who watched the game. I think Grambling won. Right, right. So, but they can tell you who won the battle of the
They
bands.
can. They can.
So that's the mindset we have, and Deion tried to change that by saying, "Listen, let's put a quality program on this field. Let's play some games. Let's bring attention to the NFL to send some scouts down here to look at these players at HBCUs and watch them grow." But guess what? They didn't appreciate them at Jackson State. And when I say they, I don't mean the alumni per se. I mean the administration didn't appreciate him. I mean the athletic department didn't truly appreciate him. You held back on his bonus money. Right?
Right.
You stealing money as a lot of HBCUs do. Money always coming up missing somewhere. Here's the thing. Deion Sanders said this himself. You have 60,000 people in the stands. But when you do the receipts and everything, it's the receipts for 25, 30,000. Where's the
Wow.
rest of the money?
Wow.
So when you
Yeah.
know people are stealing at your expense,
I'm out of here.
I gotta go.
And Colorado's
I
going to
get
give him everything he needs.
the Colorado's
Colorado
gonna
is
pay
going to
him
give him
5 million
everything.
a year. Plus, he's gonna get his bonuses. He's gonna be, and as long as he's winning, now he's gonna have to play the game
He is.
different. He's gonna have to talk different. You can't be. That's Colorado still, right? So it's not like going to Florida A&M where he went, where he could probably get away with saying some things that he's accustomed to saying. He's not going to be able to do that in Colorado, man.
You know what? But he's going to
He's
because
gonna.
he's
Oh, he's
Dion.
gonna test.
He's
He's gonna
going
test
to.
it. Yep, he's gonna
But
be
if
Dion,
he's not winning, the narratives are going to be very odd for
and
how
it's
he
gonna be
talks and
very
how he carries
damaging to
himself.
him. That's right, and how you carry yourself, how your players can.
It
And
is.
listen, you can't tell. And listen, I'm about to say something that might be a little controversial, right? You can't tell a bunch of rich white parents, my son can't play for this team. You can't tell a bunch of rich white parents, y'all might as well hit the transfer portal. Especially if that parent and those alumni
Are
are
dropping the dollars.
financial, that's right, are financial boosters.
It's a
You
lot
don't have to
different.
worry about talking that talk at Jackson State
It's a
because
lot different.
ain't
No,
nobody got
nobody's
long
giving money
pockets
because
like
nobody
that.
got it. Yep.
You got to be careful on how you talk
That's a
in
wonderful point.
Colorado because you talking about, I guarantee you half of those kids parents who saw that, if they
Hmm.
weren't at the press conference, when they saw
Hmm.
that,
Didn't I
oh,
just donate $150,000 to
and you
put the
gonna tell
new?
me? No, 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 no. And guess what? The university is in the business of making money as well. So if you start pissing off these donors or these heavy hitters, what's gonna happen? They're
Right.
gonna that money's gonna stop coming, and it's gonna be a problem, and Coach Sanders will be gone.
That's a
Especially if you're
wonderful
not winning
point.
on the field. Especially if you're not winning on the field.
It's a wonderful
So
point.
he's going to have to navigate through some things at Colorado. And maybe that's a good thing because the expectations aren't high. Colorado was 1-11, right? So whatever you can give to make them better than 1-11, you're good to go, right?
100%.
You're good to go. But you got to win. It's still a Power 5 school, and you got to
And you
win.
gotta
And
win.
he's still an African American. Herm Edwards is as good a guy as there is. They ran him up out of
They ran
Arizona
his
State,
ass
man.
out of Arizona State.
Right? I mean, listen,
They
you
ran
got to
him out of
go,
Arizona
Herm.
State.
Sorry, you got to go. That's what happens.
You
That's
gotta
what
win.
happens.
You
You
have to win.
got to win. It doesn't,
And you
and
gotta win
you're
soon.
especially if you're not melanin challenged, you got to win.
You gotta win
Typically,
soon.
within 3 years of
You
that
gotta win soon.
contract, you better have us in the bowl game. You better have us in the Pac-12 championship. If we're
If
paying
you're
you
gonna be talking this
$5,
way. Yeah.
that's right. If you talking this way, if you talking about telling our kids that they got to transfer or
Hmm.
they got it is, or I'm bringing my horses, whatever, with me,
Cool. Those horses
okay,
better win.
cool. But you better win. Now you done opened your mouth, Dion. You got to win because
You gotta
you're
win.
not at Jackson State. You're not playing Alcorn State every year. You're not playing, uh, Mississippi Valley State. You're not playing Alabama State. You're not playing Grambling. You're playing USC. You're
You're playing
never gonna beat
UCLA.
USC
You're playing
unless you
Utah.
just right. You're playing UCLA, Utah. You're playing teams that are proven and bowl eligible typically every year.
and want to beat Colorado to shut
and,
Deion up.
and want to be and listen. Do you think that USC Colorado game is not going to be crazy because Caleb Williams will be back?
Is he coming back?
He probably will. I think Caleb Williams might. No, he may go pro.
He just won a
Well,
Heisman.
he just won a Heisman. He's
He
still,
just won a Heisman. He's out of here.
yeah, he probably. But you know what? That's still Lincoln Riley, and
But
whoever's
it's
going
still
to be the
Lincoln Riley. He's
quarterback,
going to bring in another
whoever's
big
going to
time
be the
quarterback.
quarterback is going to be lighting it up for them.
I think
So,
that's great insight. I
so
think that's
that's
great insight,
that's
man.
who you have to. That's who you have to gear yourself up for now because he played against some great Miami teams. He couldn't beat them, but he still played against them. Right? He played against some great Miami teams. He
Right.
played at a national stage with Coach Bowden. So
He
he
did.
knows the atmosphere from being a player.
Can
But
he
we're
prepare the
talking
kids
about
for it?
can he prepare his kids and can he keep them out of the transfer portal? See, now he has to navigate that. You done told kids to transfer out. Who you got coming in,
Who got coming in?
right?
Now, I do think he has a plan, and I do think his plan is going to be put into effect year one.
Uh-huh.
I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued by all this, man.
Listen,
Because we've never seen anything like this go on
no,
before.
never. This is unprecedented. And listen, let me tell you the aura of a Dion. You have another very good NFL player coaching at a HBCU. You ain't heard from him since he been there. Eddie George is at Tennessee State.
Eddie George has been there. No words.
Nobody even has heard a word out
No
of
words.
out of Eddie George since he's been at Tennessee State, right? So you have Hugh Jackson coaching Grambling.
Right.
That hasn't translated well for Grambling,
Right. So
right?
Dion can do things. Dion went down there
Yes,
and won. He went down there and won where other guys didn't.
he won
It's
at a school
it's
that people on a football level people
never
thought
thought
more of
about.
Alcorn State more than they did Jackson
Yeah.
State.
They never thought about it.
So we're gonna see what happens.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
interesting, man.
funky in
It's
Colorado if
gonna
he
be
losing
fun, man.
though. Cause you
We've
see
got
them
some.
press conferences every month, every week when he lose. Listen,
It's gonna,
when you lose 45-3 to USC,
they're gonna ask. So
so Coach
that
Prime,
Louis luggage you brought,
uh,
it didn't really.
maybe some of them guys you told to transfer could have helped you out a little bit, don't you think? Right? Because and
It,
here's another thing
real.
about that. He's bringing a bunch of black kids into Colorado
He is.
from an HBCU.
He
I
is.
could just hear I could just hear the politicians and the Colorado grads who have their nice houses up on the hill. I could just hear them with their shotguns shooting at elk or some shit. Upset.
This is gonna be so fun, man.
Upset.
This is gonna be so fun. It's gonna be fun to see.
I would have rather seen him try to go to a USC or UCLA because those schools are in the hood.
They won't. Yeah,
Great
but
schools,
he
but they're
had
in the
to.
hood.
He needed to get into a Power Five that was down on their luck, who has the ability to bring in talent, and
And
Colorado was the perfect fit for it. Colorado's the perfect fit for it.
Colorado hasn't had talented football program since Rashawn Salam
And Cordell Stewart.
and Cordell Stewart. That's been a
It's been a
long
long
time
drought for them, man.
for Colorado.
It's been
If
a
he
long
can
drought.
turn that program into a 5 and 6 win program with because he's not gonna even with the $5 million salary, he's not gonna have the resources other schools in that conference have. So it's going to be interesting to see how he navigates through
It's gonna
these
be fun.
resources that he has. And listen, he has, I think Trey Sanders might end up going to Alabama. If I'm not, I mean, to
Oh, to the
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah. So, I mean, if
Things
he
like
can
that
pick
are
up a
gonna
nice
matter.
running back, get you a nice running back who went to a Power Five school, got some
Hmm.
skill,
Build up your offensive
he got
line.
a defensive
You can win some
coordinator,
games.
came from Bama.
Yeah.
He could, if he surrounds himself with the right assistants,
Things can get very interesting.
things could get funky down there.
Things can get very, very interesting.
You know,
I'm looking forward to see it all, man. This was
listen,
fun.
I want him to
This
be
was fun,
successful. I
man.
just don't think it's going to happen the first 2 years. I think he's going to
Yeah.
need 2 years to recruit your players, not from the portal, because the portal can help you here and there, certain positions.
Right.
It's not going
You
to
got
help
to
you
get out and
long
bring people
term.
in.
You got to get out and bring people to your school and sell them the dream that going to a school that's going to be below zero for 4 of your games is where you want to be.
100%.
because
It's
that plays a part.
100%.
That plays a huge part, right? Michigan and Ohio State are like cold weather states in the winter, right?
Hmm.
But they ain't winning no national championships, man. Not like Bama, like them hot states. Like people want to go where they can, you know,
They want to win.
sweat
Right.
because you play better that way, right? You play looser. You're a little faster.
Right.
So we're gonna see how you can navigate Colorado. It's cold. I've been to
I'm so
Colorado
intrigued.
once. It's cold as
It's
hell.
cold in there. It's gonna be
Dion
fun
go
though.
Dion gonna have on he gonna have on parkas. he gonna Dion, Dion
you gonna
gonna have on
you gonna
park.
have a
He
heater
gonna be
next to
standing on the
him, leaning on
sideline
it.
like run the ball. Damn it, hurry up, run the play,
This this is gonna be fun to
right?
watch, man.
And that's gonna be another thing. How are you going to navigate the elements? You're also in Colorado, which sea level wise is a little different. Got to navigate through that. But it's gonna be fun to see how he goes through it.
It is.
His press conferences are gonna be the stuff of legend.
I can't wait.
Could you imagine the
I can't
Pac-12
wait.
conference, the Pac-12 media day? Lincoln Riley gonna be like, yeah, all right, man. Yeah,
Okay,
it's great
bro.
to have Dion here. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see if he can win.
Let's see if he can win. Let's
That's
get it.
all. That's all. Let's
Let's
see if
get
he
it.
can win. This is fun. Listen, when I say we back on the regular schedule program, we got too much to go on every week. We
That's
appreciate
right.
y'all giving us a little break. We're gonna be back. We're gonna start pouring a little bit more into this. We're gonna have a beautiful
That's
time. But
right.
it's good to see y'all, man.
Good to see you. Man,
Sunday
this was
night,
great.
please, please, bro.
We're gonna
I don't
talk
ask
about
y'all for
that. We're
much.
gonna talk about how my Celtics is running around at 21-7 to start the season. They
Boston's
lost
looking
two
good.
games in a row, but I think that woke them up last night, beating LA, beating the
Boston's
Lakers.
good.
Boston is doing their thing. So we're gonna how long that lasts, man.
It's gonna be a beautiful thing, man.
You
For
know,
my man, for big homie one and only Quiet Storm. You know how I am, man. See y'all next week.
we
We
love y'all.
appreciate y'all hanging out with
See you
us.
later, and thank you.
Like, subscribe. Always appreciate the
Tell
support.
people about it, and listen.
Yeah.
Soon we're gonna start bringing some of y'all on to hear what y'all got to say.
Giants,
So
please.
get
Bro.
ready for that. Get
Please,
ready for
Giants.
it.
Giants, please.
We'll talk to you soon.